Hello, I'm John Sherman. There are a couple of things that I'd like to talk with you about today, the most important of which is this. If you will just try to look at yourself with your mind's eye, the fear of life will disappear, and with it the perception of your life as a problem to be solved, a threat to be destroyed, or the hiding place of some secret treasure that might bring you fulfillment and satisfaction at some future time. I'm going to try and show you directly now how to rid yourself of the background of anxiety once and for all, and where to find the treasure of abiding satisfaction with life, using a simple act of inward looking that is ridiculously easy to perform. I'd be grateful if you would follow closely what I'm about to do, even if you've been with us for a long time, and even if you have direct personal experience of the effects of the looking. And I would be grateful for anything you can tell me that might help me communicate this act more effectively. The simpler the better. And I would also be grateful if you would put aside anything else you are doing other than listening to what I'm saying and trying to do what I am suggesting. It won't take long, 10-15 minutes tops. So first, the simple act of inward looking that snuffs out the fear of life. To begin with, what do I mean by the phrase inward looking? It sounds like a good place to start. What I mean by the phrase inward looking is what we all do naturally whenever we purposely bring our mind's eye, that is to say the focus of our attention, to any particular sensation present in the ocean of thought and sensation that fills our consciousness. For example, right now, as you are listening to my voice, notice that even though there is a universe of thought and sensation also present in your awareness, you can see that your attention is focused to a greater degree on my voice, ignoring to one degree or another the rest of it. Now I want you to move the focus of your attention away from the sound of my voice to the feel of your breath as it comes in and out of your body, and then begin to count each breath. For me, the easiest moment to count is at the end of the out breath. So you would breathe in, breathe out, watching all the while, and then at the moment the out breath ends, move your attention to that feeling and count it. Notice as you do this that it takes a moment or two just to understand what I'm suggesting and to find the feel of it and to settle attention into it. Notice, too, that you actually are able to deliberately change the direction of your focus. This is very important and may not be as obvious as it sounds. For many, it can seem that attention just automatically goes to what calls it, and it does most of the time, but when you want to, you really can move and focus the beam of your attention wherever you want it to be. So even if this is already obvious to you, notice it now freshly, this power you have to move and focus attention at will. So whenever you're ready, move your attention to the breath and begin counting. Don't worry if you lose count, just start over at 1. Okay, relax a moment. Get your focus back to my voice. And now I want you to move the focus of your attention from my voice to the feel of your relaxed tongue in your mouth for a moment. I chose the tongue because most of the time its presence goes unnoticed, except when we accidentally bite it or need to use it in the act of eating, but it actually has quite a strong and dense sensation associated with it when you turn your attention to it. The same method applies here as with moving attention to the sound of my voice and to the breath. First you choose to do it. It takes a moment to understand just what it is you're looking for, and then a little more time to settle into the feel of it. So focus attention on the feel of your tongue in your mouth at rest. Okay. Relax. Bring your attention back to me. And now, lastly, I want you to move the focus of your attention to you, to what it feels like to be you. Take a moment to understand that what you're looking for is nothing but the feel of you, the sensation of you, the feel of what you would call me. So you are looking for exactly what you refer to whenever you say the word me. Nothing special here, nothing more than that. As you do this, the universe of thought and sensation is still present in your awareness, calling your attention, and you can, if you choose to do so, put your attention on any attractive object out there. But if you try, if you focus, you should also be able to just sense the faint, subtle sensation in the background of everything else that is the recognizable feel of you. What it has always felt like to be you. What it felt like as a child to be you. What it always, always feels like to be you. Just you. Just the plain and simple feel of you. Just try to put your attention on that subtle feeling for 1/10 of a second. And that's it. That's all there is to the simple act of inward looking that is pretty much all I talk about, and that I claim to be the actual solution to all human experience of life as misery and dissatisfaction. And if you followed along, you almost certainly have just accomplished that act, whether you know it or not. Keep in mind that there will have been little, if any, actual sign of your success, very little in the way of recognizable sensation to tell you that you actually have had the direct experience of you. And it may be some time before any results begin to show up, and even longer before you can actually recognize them for what they are. In fact, the first indication that you've succeeded may be that you find yourself trying to do this again and again, even if you can see no results from it, and no point to it. But you can't fail. What you're trying to do, what you're trying to look at, is, after all, just you. How could you not recognize the feel of your own presence here? It almost seems that the looking is the finding. And if you continue to look, and if the experience of many is any predictor, you have just set an irreversible course towards sanity and an abiding love of your own life. Just like that. Just one look. It's that simple. Which brings me to my second point, the cause and cure of the human march to self-destruction. I believe that human nature is inherently moral and benevolent, and that the appearance of the fear of life has created an internal war between the natural human state of intelligence, skillfulness, goodwill, and love of life, and the fear and hatred of life that contaminates the entire context of understanding and all the psychological structures that form the experience shape of my life for me and your life for you. I believe that all human self-destructive beliefs, all conditioned negative reactions, all hatred of self and other, all greed, all cowardice, all deceitfulness, all narcissistic antipathy to life, all war, murder, rape, theft, and every other form of neurotic and destructive behavior in humans is effects, symptoms really, of the fear of life, which operates in humanity as a kind of existential autoimmune disease, tirelessly seeking to protect us from our own lives. I believe that if the fear can be cured, the diseased psychological mechanisms which are its symptoms will begin to vanish, and in their place new habits, new healthy conditioned reactions, and an entirely new context of understanding will begin to form that's consistent with the true human nature of goodwill and community. I believe that if the fear can be cured, can be eradicated from humanity, it may even still be possible for the human experiment to thrive and prosper and survive. I know that the simple act of inward looking we just experienced together has done that in my life, and in Carla's life, and in the lives of many others now all over the world. A growing online community of people who have seen the fear disappear and their relationship with their own lives begin to heal. A community of people who have gone sane. I also believe that if we do not stop the insane, fear-driven behavior that now has us all in its thrall, it will soon be the end of us. Which brings me to my third point. Maybe now, with the looking, we actually can save ourselves. This act is, after all, profoundly plain and simple, and self-evidently harmless. It contends with nothing, not even the symptoms of the disease it cures. It requires no new understanding, no agreement with any existing understanding, old or new, and no abandonment of any existing understanding or belief or any other thing. It requires literally nothing but the will to do it in a moment's time. Because of this, I believe that anyone who hears the suggestion to try this looking stated cleanly and clearly enough will almost automatically try to do it on the spot. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't you? What's there to lose? And I believe that when they try, they will succeed, and the relationship with their lives will begin to mend, and humankind will begin to heal. The instruction in the act is extremely brief, completely free of charge, and available to all with no strings whatsoever attached. Deep support in understanding the results of the act and navigating the recovery from the disease can easily be found in a growing, vibrant online community of folks who have seen what is possible with this and offer the generous help and support from their own experience that you would expect in any true family of human beings. Will you join with us in this? We can put all this to the test. We can find out if there's any truth to what we're saying by simply bringing the suggestion to the ears of enough humans to ensure that all humans will hear of it. And we can do that. We have the technology. So we have launched an experiment to do just that. You can find out more and get involved with the experiment at our website at www.justonelook.org. We're aiming for a year-long campaign to culminate in a single moment in which everyone who has heard of this experiment worldwide joins together to look simultaneously at themselves, just to see what happens. We're just beginning to meet with others to develop the organization and the practical plan we need to accomplish this goal. Soon, we will put online a way in which you can volunteer to be a part of this work. We will need all sorts of help, including web design, social network management, fundraising, financial management, accounting, bookkeeping, and much more. If you go to justonelook.org and sign the form telling us that you're in, you'll begin receiving regular updates as the project develops. That's it. Thank you again for the time and attention you've given me here. I hope to see you among the people who have committed to this experiment, and I wish you good health and a satisfying life.